Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to an exclusive edition of the High Press with Conor Robinson. I'm not Conor Robinson. I'm Alec Walt. I'm alongside the host of the show here, Conor Robinson, and we're going to talk about who finishes top four in the English Premier League. Conor, welcome to your own show. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. It's awesome to have this sort of setup. We can get some riveting conversation going, and I'm excited. Let's just kick things off.
All right, well, let's start off with Chelsea. They spent a ton of money here this summer. They sacked Frank Lampard, made it to 2 cup finals. Given their resurgence, do you see them getting back into the top four?
As of right now, they're in third place. I believe they play. They got a point against Liverpool, who are in fourth at 66. Chelsea are going to be playing Villa on the final day. So I think that, given their form, given what they've done under Tuchel, making it to the FA Cup final, losing to Leicester, as you said, making it to the Champions League final against Manchester City, which is yet to be played. I think they're kind of in the pole position right now to finish top four, probably third. They have been really, rigid defensively. They've been able to kind of tighten things up at the back. Under Frank Lampard, they were very erratic. Some games they were really good. Some games they were kind of poor. So I do think Chelsea are kind of in that pole position to finish at least third, maybe fourth, depending on what happens with Liverpool. Villa's a good team. They're missing a couple of key players, but they'll still be able to kind of get a result if they play a certain way. They've been able to stay up in the Premier League last season. They had a pretty solid start to the season this year. So we'll have to wait and see on Sunday. But I do think Chelsea at the moment, given, even though Timo Werner hasn't really worked out, Kai Havertz has kind of been so-so, with his performances, and that was a lot of money between the two of them. I do think that, Chelsea could very well finish third, and going into this summer, they'll look to sell, bring in some new players, kind of give Tuchel more of a backing, considering he has made it to those 2 cup finals.
So one team that's been just crushed with injuries this year is Liverpool, and they are still able to make it into the top four. What would a Champions League place do for the confidence going for them next season?
I think it'd be massive, considering, Van Dijk has been such a talisman at the back for them. I think he's coming back soon. I don't think he'll make an appearance for this, game Sunday, but he's back in training, I think, and he's kind of doing his physical therapy after the ACL tear. So he's starting to look better and better. But for them, I mean, the injury list is very long. Anyone who's been following the season would know just how poor they've been at times. But it does come down to their injuries. They have some contract issues with Wijnaldum, who was probably going to leave this summer. But yeah, I think if they can finish top four, they're in fourth right now. They have a game against, I believe, Palace. Yep, they're hosting Palace, so it's a tricky fixture, but they should be able to win. I believe there will be fans in the stadium, so if they can get a win at the Anfield at the Kop end with the fans, I think it'll be massive for them. It also helps, given the pandemic and everything, and the financial constraints. It will allow them to reinforce where they need to. I think maybe another forward is necessary, probably getting someone in midfield as well. Definitely investing in their defense, even though Nat Phillips and Reece Williams have kind of shown the early promise, even though they're very young and they're kind of in the youth setup. But for Liverpool to finish fourth, right now they're sitting in fourth. They are, I believe, level on points with Leicester with a better goal differential. So they're kind of in the driving seat as well. I think it's primarily up to Chelsea and Liverpool to hold the spots they currently have. Games that you would expect them to get a result, Villa for Chelsea and Palace for, Liverpool. And with all three teams already been relegated at the bottom end of the table, I think Palace might not have that same edge that they normally would.
So let's talk about Leicester City. They were third for most of the season. They've slipped to fifth. Brendan Rodgers helped them lift their first FA Cup since winning the league just a few seasons ago. Do you think they can manage to slip back in?
I think things have to go their way. Again, like I said, some of those matchups could be tricky with Chelsea and Liverpool. They're games you would expect them to win. but ultimately they are kind of tricky fixtures. The PL is very competitive. A lot of teams, beating other teams, especially in positions where you wouldn't expect that. At Leicester, it's up to them. They have a tough matchup. They play Spurs, so Spurs are also fighting for a European spot in the Europa League. But for Leicester, to win the FA Cup under Brendan Rodgers is massive. They won that title in 15-16. No one expected them to. 5,000 to 1 odds. So realistically, it could become a good season, could become a remarkable season if they are able to sneak back into a Champions League spot. If there's something mathematically, and I won't get into all the details because it's kind of confusing unless you read it every word of the paragraph. But Leicester, I think, have the toughest matchup of any team going into this final day here. But for them to win a trophy this season is massive enough. It'll help them bring in players. They've done an excellent job recruiting with, Tielemans and Castagna and players like that. So it's up to them really to kind of make that push and to really put the gas on and go all out against the Spurs side that, has been kind of lackluster this season. For Leicester, Vardy's kind of lost his legs. He's not the same player he was. He's kind of I think he's 33, 34 now. So it's been tough, but Iheanacho has been playing well, Kelechi Iheanacho. So I do think they can get the result. And again, if Chelsea drop points, if Liverpool drop points, Leicester could be there to snatch that 4th spot.
So, Conor, before we let you go, who do you think wins the Golden Boot?
And this is a tough one for sure because Harry Kane is level with Mo Salah. They're both on 22. Given Leicester's kind of rigidity, I do think it'll be hard for Spurs to break them down. I do think Spurs will have a tough time against Leicester. That'll be a very competitive game, but I think perhaps Mo Salah is going to just grab that game against Palace by the scruff of the neck. Big game players do big things. Palace is a team that's missing Eberechi Eze, so going forward, they're not going to be the same, which means they're going to have to play a little bit more defensively. And I think Mo Salah and this Liverpool side under Klopp are going to be able to turn and hit that next gear and perhaps get all 3 points and maybe even score 3-4 goals.
So if you had to make a prediction, who is the top 4? Who do you think at the end of the season? What is it?
I think Chelsea could drop. I think it's going to be City, who have already won the title, United, who are firmly in second, Liverpool, and then Leicester, I think.
Okay.
I think Chelsea are going to find it tough against Villa. I think Villa are going to kind of try to spoil their day. I don't think Palace have enough going forward, even though historically speaking they have had good results against Liverpool. I think Liverpool and Klopp understand the importance of the situation, given the financial situation and the pandemic and everything. And I do think that Liverpool will be able to get the win against Palace. They may concede a few, but I do think firmly that they're gonna be able to put 3 or 4 past Palace.
Should be exciting to see how this finishes. Conor, good job today, man. Appreciate you joining your own show.
Thank you. I'm glad that we were able to set it up like this. It's exciting to talk about the PL. For all of our viewers, make sure you subscribe to the channel, smack that notification bell, and stay tuned. We're going to have a little bit of a Europa League preview. We're going to see who may finish in the top 6, top 7 spots. There's a new competition as well, the UEFA Conference League or something like that. So stay tuned for that. We'll have that out this weekend.
Stay tuned. Subscribe to Down the Block Sports. Do it now if you haven't yet. It's so easy. Just click the button. We'll see you soon.